Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich.
Success is something you attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself. Personal development.
Why is it that people are successful? It's simply this. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer. Why? It's because the rich think about wealth and affluence all the time. And what do the poor think about? The poor think about lack, loss, and limitation, risk, danger, fear, failure all the time.
Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich. Think and grow rich.
You become what you think about. And here's the interesting thing. You can choose. Choose what you think about. Choose. With your business, choose what you're aiming at. With your leadership, choose what you're aiming at. With your team, choose. Help them choose. The act of intentionality is so freaking powerful. It's unbelievable. Henry Ford said, if you think you can, or you think you can't, you're right. I am amazed at the things we don't do because we have this little tiny bit of fear that offsets all the other data and all the other evidence in our life that causes us to not go do something. Because we just don't believe. And it's weird. When you start to believe, you become what you think about.
Never say you can't do it. Say, I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet. And that's true with everything. It's like there's nothing that you can't do. You may not have done it yet. We don't know if you can do it or not until you really practice, and then you find out if you can do it or not, or how well you can do it.
Money is not our issue. The mindset of money is our issue. If you don't have a mindset for money, then trading stocks and options wouldn't be the game for you because you're not going to know how to manage your risk. You're not going to have the discipline to be able to stay out of the market when necessary. You're not understanding money in its totality. So when you got the mindset of money coupled with the skill of making money, this is what equals a wealthy person. This is what allows a person to be able to build wealth throughout their generations.
You cannot have what you're not willing to become vibrationally. If you do get it, you'll lose it. This is why people, they'll win the lottery, they lose everything. They'll get a modicum of success but can't hold on to it because inside they weren't vibrationally aligned. They really hadn't become it. So you can temporarily manipulate and get things, but to have it completely, you have to lift your vibration and become that.
You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. And of course, the other side of the coin reads, unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you got. I have found in my experience that income does not far exceed personal development. Now, sometimes income takes a lucky jump, but sure enough, unless you grow out where it is, it'll usually come back where you are. Life has strange ways. If somebody hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire quickly, so you get to keep the money. Otherwise, sure enough, it'll disappear. Somebody once said, if you took all the money in the world, divided it up equally among everybody, it would soon all be back in the same pockets. Incredible.
Money does not exist. Did you know that? I learned that years ago from a very wealthy man. I was free from money that day. He says money is an idea. It's in your head. It's an idea. You are supposed to work for purpose, not money. If you find your purpose, money will find you. If you're not in your purpose, you haven't found your purpose, you're still working for money. Money's your boss.
Think and grow rich. If you can focus on building something for you, your life will be way better. So I started down that journey because at the end of the day, thoughts are things. What you think about truly becomes your reality. One of the most magnificent things that I've discovered in the 46 years I've been on this earth is that genuinely, whatever reality you create in your mind, you can eventually walk towards and exist it. That's amazing because I believe we're created. And I believe that we can co-create. A lot of people think that's hocus pocus, but like my mentor said, he said, no, it's hocus focus.
Wow.
So if you focus on it for real, like really focus on a particular destination that you want to get to, and then you're willing to put in the work every day, consistently, eventually you can get there.
Everything is possible in your life when you believe. When you believe, everything is possible.
What come out your mouth is what's gonna come back to you. It's the law of attraction. All men are dogs. You finna meet all of them. I never get nobody. You're not. I can't lose this weight. You sure ain't. I'm gonna get fit this year. Strong possibility. I'll never be rich. Promise you won't. I'm gonna be rich one day. Strong possibility. It's how it works, man. It is the law of attraction. The moment you say it, you begin to change. It's the process. If you think big, you'll be big. If you think small, you'll be small.
A negative mental attitude can bring you nothing but failure. Remember always, you are where you are and what you are because of your mental attitude in which you relate yourself to other people. Remember also, your mental attitude is the one and the only thing over which you have complete control. Success is something which has to be planned, and success is something which has to be earned.
Anything that you can hold in your mind on a continuing basis, you can be, have, or do. You will become what you think about. Your only job is to make a very, very clear decision about the person you want to be, the things that you want to have, the goals that you want to accomplish, and then make sure that you feed your mind continuously, day by day, week by week, hour by hour, with words, pictures, images, ideas, thoughts, and information consistent with your goals and your ideals.
You cannot have wealth in your material world until you first visualize the wealth in your mind.
If you get a picture of what you really want, then it's just a matter of time until you have it.
They keep reminding yourself that you have tremendous reservoirs of potential within you, and therefore you are quite capable of doing anything you set your mind to. You really can. So all you must do is figure out how you can do it, not whether you can or not.
About 5 years ago, I met a wise and wealthy man who had spent his entire life studying success. And he'd reached a clear conclusion concerning the reason for success in life and especially in business. He's dead now, but I'll never forget what he told me. He said the key to success was to set a goal and then to stay with it until you achieve success in at least one important thing. He said that your subconscious mind will then accept that success experience and store it as a pattern, like a template. And then from then on, your subconscious will drive you and direct you and guide you to repeat the pattern of success in other things that you attempt. Another way of saying it is that nothing succeeds like success. Psychologists have demonstrated that achievement brings you a natural high. Once you've experienced your first great success, then not only are you unconsciously programmed to repeat it, but nothing else will ever give you the same wonderful sense of satisfaction.
When you realize how powerful your mind is, you can create anything you want. This is the goal, the main thing of being alive, is learning how to create. And now when the veil is thinning, we're moving into this new earth, we're into the shifting, we're bringing all these abilities back. This is what you're supposed to learn how to do. This is your movie. So you are the producer, director, and actor in your own play. You're also the script writer, but the script isn't written. It's written as you go along. You can change it anytime you want. You can create anything.
You know the only difference in steam and ice is the state of vibration of the water or the H2O. Do you know the only difference in where you are versus where you want to go is your state of vibration? Do you know that everything to get you there is already here, and it always has been? Do you know when you take an idea and you impregnate it over and over again, you impregnate that idea into one cell. When you impregnate that idea into the cell, that cell is dividing 1 into 2, 2 into 4, 4 into 8, and the process goes on at the rate of 50,000 cells per second. And the more and more you act on it, even though you don't feel good about it, but you work with the idea, you start to develop this change in vibration. But what is really happening is you're impregnating the cells with the characteristic or the idea. What we need to do is we need to constantly think about where we're going, what we want to do, and we start to increase our level of thinking by vibration, and we begin to attract thoughts of a like nature that'll move us in that direction.
How badly do you want what you want? How badly do you want it? Or do you want it at all? You see, there's an awful lot of people who want an awful lot of things. But how badly do they want it? If you want it so badly, if you want it with tremendous intensity of desire, there's really nothing in the world that can stop you from getting it. There's an interesting story was told about Socrates, and Socrates was talking to one of his students, and the student said, I am hungry for knowledge. What can I do to increase my knowledge? And Socrates said, knowledge is something that is readily available and easy to get if you want it bad enough. He said, I'm sure I want it badly enough. And Socrates said, come with me, and he walked him offshore into the ocean and walked him offshore into the Aegean Sea. And they got about 3 or 4 feet, and Socrates, a very, very strong man, grabbed the young man and put his head under the water. And the young man began to struggle and struggle and struggle, and finally became incredibly frantic, and finally brought him up. And he said, now what did you want while you were under the water? And he said, all I wanted was air. He said, all I could think of in the whole world was air. He said, when you want knowledge with the same intensity that you wanted that oxygen, you will get all the knowledge that you could desire. And when you want anything with great intensity, if you have the desire, you'll get it.
This is the Millionaire Mindset.
Your subconscious mind hears what you tell it to hear and sees what you make it see. For example, if you're constantly thinking, I'm tired of being broke, your subconscious mind will prove you right. It hears, I'm tired and broke, and it works all day and night to make it true. Your words are spells. That's why you spell words. They're magical. Your tongue can slay you. Hold it if you don't know how to use it.
Stay small enough, long enough, you'll be big enough soon enough. See you at the top because the bottom is too crowded, but we never look down on anybody unless we're willing to help them up. Believing that you can is way more profitable than believing that you can't.
Successful people are always too busy doing what the other guys are still talking about. Successful people are always willing to do what the other guys are not willing to do.
Set a goal to become a millionaire. Here's why. For what it will make of you to achieve it. Set a goal that'll make you stretch that far. For what it will make of you to achieve it.
Today, it's easier to make money than ever before. You are on your way to having your first $1 million in the bank and all of your bills paid.
Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves. They want to tell you you can't do it. You want something, go get it. Period.
Start working for yourself. Sky's the limit.
If you want to unlock your potential, if you want to go straight to the stars, you have to use the law of substitution to keep your mind on what you want. Use the law of concentration to dwell continually on the results you desire. Be solution-centered rather than problem-centered. Be goal-centered rather than loss-centered. And the law of subconscious activity will begin to adjust your words, your actions, your feelings, your emotions, and everything to the point where you will draw into your life the people and circumstances that will harmonize with it. Now, what's the most powerful thing you can do? It's very simply this, is success begins with taking purposeful, systematic control of the content of your conscious mind. Purposeful, systematic control of the content of your conscious mind. Everything comes back to the law of control.
Is there any better feeling than being locked in?
No.
Like when you are locked in and you are, you know, you're taking, and you're in a rhythm and you're every day you're knocking it down. You never miss a step. Like you go to bed feeling great. You wake up feeling inspired. You go in the gym with energy, right? Like that's the best way to live it.
But I promise you, bro, you have so much potential. If you literally just took it and put it in one place, you could literally change your life.
Truly believe that if you put your 100% effort into something, then you can't lose. God knows if you deserve the results, and if you truly try, you truly commit yourself 100% to something, I don't see how you can fail it. That I don't think you can. That I refuse. I completely refuse. You can't fail at it.
You said you were going to do it this year, but you didn't. So what's going to be different about this year? What kind of person are you going to actually become in order to achieve what the you want to achieve?
There's a law in physics that basically says that when you have energy that is vibrating at a particular frequency, within 17 seconds, other energy like that will be attracted to it. So if I'm having a positive thought or a negative thought, then what happens is that energy is attracted to it. I have other thoughts that are like that thought. So if you do that 17 seconds, 68 seconds, then momentum begins to occur. So let's say that I'm normally, all of our emotions have a frequency to it. So if I'm in despair or anger or worry, all of those are lower, denser frequencies. You get into things like contentment, happiness, joy, love. Those are higher, faster frequencies. Let's say that I normally live in contentment, and that's my set point because that's where I live. I think about that all the time. That's what my makeup is, that sort of thing. So I'm driving down the highway. All of a sudden a car cuts me off and I get angry. So now I'm in the lower, denser frequencies. And so then I go back to the office and I'm telling all my colleagues, you know, here's what happened. You know, this knucklehead cut me off. Go home, tell my wife that. What am I doing? I'm vibrating angry energy. I'm attracting into my world whatever it is that I'm vibrating. So where my thoughts are, that's what's creating my reality.
It is easier to make money than ever before. You can make more money faster today than ever before in history. Why aren't more people making money? Wealthy people show initiative. Broke people don't.
The faster you are, the more money you will make. Your bank account is actually a reflection of how fast you move. I was sitting with one of my mentors, Bill Perkins. I asked him, Bill, you're worth a lot of money. You've made hundreds of millions of dollars. Why do you think you've been so successful? And he kind of looked at me and he thought for a second, and he said, I move really fast. By the time somebody else has thought about an idea, taken it to investment committee, I've already started, made 3 mistakes, and found a better way.
Now y'all look money hungry, and that's good. Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't have any.
A broke person thinks that there's a limit to opportunity and a limit to the amount of money out there, that there's a finite resource of money. They think, I just don't have opportunities. I've missed the opportunities. There's this limiting belief around money that poor or broke people have. Rich people, on the other hand, understand this, that money is a renewable resource, which means if they lose all their money today, it's no problem. They can create more. Do you understand this? Do you think that you can create as much money as you want? You don't, do you?
Working jobs we hate, so we can buy shit we don't need.
When you really want something, just in my life experience and seeing other people, seeing myself, seeing other people that like made stuff happen, it's like, man, when you really want something, you're gonna find a way, ultimately.
Every single day is about winning that battle against yourself.
And it might not be today or next year or 5 years or 10 years, but this thing takes priority and precedent over all other things.
You have to want it. You have to want to be better.
When you realize you have to make this shit work or you're falling on your face, it's a different kind of grind, a different kind of mentality, a different kind of person, a different side of you that you've never seen before that comes out when you go all in.
Everybody has the desire to do something, but they don't have they don't know how to really complete the process of dedicating themselves and having the discipline to do it.
Complete delusion. You gotta believe the delusion because it's only delusional until it works. So is it really delusional?
You have to be crazy enough to think that it's possible. That's how you do something worthwhile. That's how you beat the odds. You have to believe it's possible, okay? And when you believe something is possible, everything else will figure itself out.
If you can see it here, and you have the courage enough to speak it, it will happen.
The power of the mind, people don't understand. We still don't understand. I still don't understand how powerful it is. I'm still learning. But I know one thing is I can make things happen.
We don't get in life a reflection of what we want, because what we want we lack, but we always get a reflection of who we are being. And who we are being is representative of our vibration, how we're thinking, feeling, and acting. So becoming aware of those 3 things and becoming aware of where the attachments are from childhood, where the attachments are from the past, is where the freedom really begins. Much of my journey has been just becoming aware of these attachments, letting them go. Once you let that go, things naturally begin to align. And as a result of that alignment, there's more synchronicity. You're in the right place at the right time. You're feeling higher vibrational emotions where you could literally feel high a majority of the time without using substances. And once you're aware that that's a potential, then becomes a game of what can I let go of?
This shit is worth more money than anything ever because you can make so much money off of this, bro. Look at me crazy, call me crazy in the beginning, but once I'm making millions of dollars, playing video games, having fun.
We are creative beings, and we can create money. Not that we can, we actually do. That's how money manifests in people's life. They create it. And when you have this mindset, the universe will then present to you and have bubble up ideas about how to make money.
Let's consider money butterflies. So let's say you want to catch butterflies. Butterflies equate to dollars. There's 2 ways that you can gather butterflies. The first way is build a net. Right? Build a massive net. It doesn't matter how optimized the net is. It doesn't matter how sophisticated it is. You always have to swing in order to catch butterflies. That's most people hustling. That's where most people start. But you need to develop a second skill set, which is how to attract butterflies. How do you attract butterflies? By building a garden.
Changing your psychology around money changes absolutely everything.
Do you want to become a billionaire? Then you have to think like a billionaire.
It's just money. It's made up. Pieces of paper with pictures on it so we don't have to kill each other just to get something to eat.
Rich people's mindset, the millionaire mindset, the real most important millionaire mindset is this. You think and you know, and you have complete confidence in your own ability to create. You know that you have the ability to create money. You have confidence that you have the ability to create money anytime you need, with the help of the universe.
There's nothing wrong with being broke, homie. It's only wrong with someone being poor, because poor is a mindset. Broke is just a temporary situation that you can fix. But being poor, that's a mind state.
Let me tell you something. There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every time.
Poor thinking habits keeps most people poor. Not poor working habits. Most people work hard, but they don't think hard. And Shope taught me that the mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. And that's what builds the economic, social, financial fabric of your life. As you think, so you become. How awesome.
There's an important phrase we use here. I think it's time you all learned it. Act as if. Do you understand what that means? Act as if you are the president of this firm, and then you're a millionaire. And it's just that simple.
Let me tell you what rich people do. Rich people give themselves pep talks when no one's around. When they're by themselves, they say things like, I'm a winner. I am sick and tired of being sick and tired, and I am going to win. I'm going to make this happen.
Look at all those people down there. They follow the rules for what? They're letting fear lead them.
What happens if I don't?
Life's simple. You make choices and you don't look back.
About 85 to 95% of all of the influences in your life, all the reasons you do anything, is because of suggestive influences around you. Not only physical suggestions, the weather, the heat, the cold, and so on, but also the emotional suggestions, the impact of the people you associate with. And the more you associate with people, especially people in your family, people in your close social circle, people that you work with, the more you associate with these people, the more of an impact they have on your thinking and on your future. Question, who do you identify with? Now, whoever you identify with today, one of the things you have to ask yourself is, who would you like to be like? Who do you want to identify with? And then you start getting around the right people. Keep your mind on what you want, keep it off of what you don't want, and everything is possible for you.
In a never-ending cycle of increase and enjoyment, thank God.
If I want to attract a lot of money, I got to see myself with a lot of money. I got to mentally accept I've already got it. I don't let my bank account dictate that. I choose that. Choosing myself to see myself with the good I already desire, I'm on that frequency. Now the trick is to stay on that frequency. Most people look at the results and they let the results dictate the frequency they're on. That's why they keep getting the same results. They have the image in their mind, they're already reached the goal they want, they're already successful, and somebody else comes along and says, well, you haven't got those results. In my mind, I have. But they're not looking in my mind, they're looking at my present results. And then pretty soon I start listening to them, I think, God, they're right. I look at my results, I haven't got it. You see why we keep getting this poor result? You've got to see yourself with the good you desire. You've got to hold that image in your mind. You've got to know it's going to come.
One of the fastest ways to create something in your physical reality is to reverse the normal process by which we create things. Usually we create things first by thinking about it. I think I'll go to that party. And then we say something about it, as in, Matilda, I'm coming to your party tonight. And then we do something about it, as in showing up at the party. Here I am, just as I said I would be, because I thunk the thought this morning. Okay? That's generally how we produce things in our reality. In fact, everything in this room was once a thought in someone's mind. There is nothing that was not once a thought in someone's mind somewhere. But if you want to really play tricks with the universe and create magic with the stuff of life itself, reverse the thought, word, deed paradigm. Turn it upside down and start with the deed. That is to say, act as if. If you want to experience abundance, be abundant and do as abundance does. Therefore, if you have only $5 left to your name, go to a store and get transferred and made into singles. Take 5 singles and walk down the street and give a single to each of 5 people who have even less than you do. And by the way, you will find those people very easily.
It's crazy because I used to tell myself at 14, 15, like, I'm gonna be a millionaire, like, I'm gonna own it. Like, I used to, like, go in, like, not even hype, like, thoughts for hours, like, if I had money and shit, like, what I do, how I do this. And it's crazy because, like, now it's like, that's my life. It's scary almost. Like, real deal. I remember, like, being on the train going to school, like, I'm gonna be a millionaire, I'm gonna have a car, I'm gonna be driving down that street, I can see myself. Then I actually, like, came and did it, like, crazy.
There is all the money that everybody needs and wants waiting there for them.
The way you feel about money is highly uncorrelated to how much you've got in the bank.
You have to change the way you think.
The number one thing that's keeping you poor is your mouth, what you say. You see, what you say is what you get. Your tongue is a creative force. Words have power, more power than you could ever imagine. Every word that comes out of your mouth has 100 to 1,000 times more power than a thought. If you believe that what you say will happen, you will get whatever you say.
Listen to me. Rich people think differently. So what I'm gonna put in your head today is a rich people concept so you can get to understand it. The only difference between successful people and not is just how they think. Rich people think different. Quit letting people tell you you got to get qualified in another program. You don't need another program to be successful. You need to change the way you think.
How would an abundant person think? Write it down, dude, and fire and wire those thoughts in your brain and install the hardware. Keep doing it with attention and intention. It becomes the new voice in your head. It becomes a software program. Then say, okay, how am I going to be in my life today? What would an abundant person, how would they behave? And before you reach for your cell phone and start scrolling through your social media, close your eyes and rehearse in your mind how that person would walk, how they would breathe, how they would smile, how they would greet people, how they would be on Zoom calls, how would they be in traffic, how would they be at dinner. And the act of closing your eyes and mentally rehearsing the act, if you're truly present, the brain does not know the difference between the real life experience and what you're imagining.
Say no to the paycheck. Paycheck make you poor because they make a slave mindset, not a master mindset.
Make up your mind. That's this idea of you got to be realistic, that you got to be logical is a bunch of nonsense. You don't have to be logical at all. I've been totally illogical many times, and it's helped me earn a lot of money.
When you speak of your poverty and lack of education, you are simply directing your mind power to attract these undesirable circumstances. Because it is true that whatever your mind feeds upon, your mind attracts to you. Now you see why it is important that you recognize that all success begins with definiteness of purpose, with a clear picture in your mind of precisely what you want from life.
You are on your way to making your fortune. You can do it. You have greatness within you. Remember, you were born to win. You were engineered for success. You were designed for accomplishment, and you were endowed with the seeds of greatness.
Do you want to become a billionaire? Then you have to think like a billionaire. Billionaires do not think about pennies and cents and dollars. They think big, and they think of ways of getting there, not of ways of not getting there.
There is all the money that everybody needs and wants waiting there for them. And there's only one reason it's not in their lives, and that's because they're stopping it from coming into their lives.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How are we stopping it?
By thinking we don't have enough, by thinking we don't deserve it, by maybe being programmed the way you were, that my family didn't have very much, I'm destined to not have very much, kind of born on the wrong side of the tracks kind of thing, or all of those thoughts. To believe that we only get money through our job. If you believe that that's the only way you're going to get money, that's the only way that you're going to get money. But you can get money from unbelievable, unlimited different ways.
If you decide you want to be rich, all you gotta do is start. Why not? Who gonna stop you?
Know what you want and believe that you can and will get it. Give expressions of gratitude many times daily for having received that which you want, even before you actually get physical possession of it. Possession starts first in the mind. But please remember this. Remember, there can be no application of applied faith without action. When overtaken by defeat, as you may be many times, remember that man's faith is tested many times before he is crowned with final victory. And accept your defeat as nothing more than a challenge to keep on trying.
But I'm starting to realize, bro, when you dance to your own rhythm, when you play by your own rules, and you living through your vision, that's a perfect indication you're doing it correctly. Because they literally don't see what you see. They don't see it. They don't see what you see. They don't see as far as you see. And they don't understand why you see what you see. They don't even understand where it's coming from internally. They don't. I didn't get that back then. I just knew I had the desire for more. I knew I had a vision that I couldn't ignore.
There is no end to what you're capable of doing. Once you get into this vibration, you'll start attracting things. Opportunity is just going to pop up everywhere you go.
Delayed gratification, which means putting off enjoying the fruits of your labor for a period of time. It's temporary so that you're focused in on what you're doing. This is the one thing that people always did that people that are not successful don't do. They're obsessed with making money. They're obsessed with their mission, their purpose, their idea, their project. And it's all they do. It's all they think about. They eat, drink, and sleep this obsession. They work on it, but it's not work to them. They absolutely love the journey because they understand the journey is actually the reward.
What would be the outcome? The experiment of being abundant would be that you would have to feel that feeling. It's so good at doing it with your eyes closed. Mm-hmm. You got to do it with your eyes open. Now, why? Because if you're feeling the feelings of your emotions, of your future, you're no longer looking for them.
You can do whatever you make up your mind to do. Believe, and you shall receive. Will you please remember that your life is exactly what you make it by your own mental attitude?
Listen to this. You do not have to be the smartest cat in town to earn a lot of money. As a matter of fact, you can be pretty dumb and earn a lot of money. I was pretty dumb and I was earning a lot of money. So when people tell me you got to be smart to earn a lot of money, I know that's not true because I knew I wasn't very smart and I was earning a lot of money.
If you complain about money, if you judge people who have it, if you rush when you're in lack, if you cheat when you don't have what you need, an abundant person doesn't do that. You got to look at that and say, I got to break these habits. Yes. Oh my God, if I truly want to be abundant, I can't act this way. Now here's the big one. If I truly want to be a new personality that's in a new personal reality, I can't take lack with me. I can't take unworthiness. I can't take the story that goes along with it with my parents or my grandparents or my ex or whatever. That story has to end.
When people look at the money that they're making and then the amount of effort that it takes them to make that money, they're like, you know what? At least I worked hard for my money. Bro, money gets printed out of thin air.
You are a creative force. Get the millionaire mindset. If you don't have the millionaire mindset, that money is a renewable resource and that you can create, and it is God, the universe, which is the source of your supply that gives you the power to get wealth. If you don't have that mindset, then you're going to have a struggle making your first million and making any.